This is it, the final video in THORGIWEEN, and of course I have to go out talking about Evil Dead 2. I don't know if I'd say that this is my favorite horror movie of all time, and it certainly isn't the scariest one. I mean, heck, this introduced a whole new generation of fans to the concept of horror comedies, which I kinda hit my quota for 2 days ago when I talked about Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Seriously, go watch Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. It's amazing. But with today being Halloween, this has to be the movie that I talk about because you see, I have very few Halloween traditions. To me, it's a holiday meant more for just having fun and not having to go out there and follow any rules. You want to go to a party and dress up in costume? Awesome. You just want to chill at home and eat fun-sized Snickers? That's cool too. Do whatever you want. But for me, my one Halloween tradition is I always have to watch this movie. Because to me, Halloween is all about two things: horror and hilarity, scares and laughs, and this movie captures both of them perfectly. I'll admit that I'm a little biased in calling this movie scary simply because it's set in the woods, and the woods are my one big spooky trigger button. You set a movie in the woods, you already have one step in the right direction for me. But the story of the invisible demons in the woods that hunt you down, possessing your friends, turning them into mutilated versions of themselves, that's enough to give me the willies. I mean, yeah, you can call the effects hokey by today's standards, but a lot of the practical effects are still stunning and still hold up. The stuff they do with these monsters in this film can really be chilling at moments. But let's be real, this movie is also a flat-out, wacky Three Stooges style slapstick comedy. The creators of this movie were outspoken fans of classic slapstick films, even referring to the unnamed extras of this movie as shimps. And unless you've got a weak stomach, it is hard to not laugh at how wacky and zany this movie gets with its action, especially when you listen to the director commentary and you hear Sam Raimi, the director himself, talking about how much he loved slapping the snot out of the star, Bruce Campbell. Every time you see him getting smacked by a branch, it was Sam doing the whapping, and that just makes it even funnier to me. And I know you might look at this film and say, this is too cheap. You can see all the effects. You can see that the cabin is just a set in some shots. And yeah, you're right. But the cheapness of it actually adds to the humor. If this film tried to play it straight and serious the whole time, you would force yourself to try to not notice stuff like the top of the set ending inside the shot. But because the movie is so goofy, it adds to the comedy. It's almost like the producers and the directors did this on purpose because they knew how humorous it would be. In fact, as I said, I love watching this with director commentary, and when you do that, it really does sound like that's exactly what they were doing, because the commentary of this film sounds like its own Mystery Science Theater 3000 track. They point out every problem in the movie, even stuff that you didn't think about, and they laugh at it just as hard as you do.
Because it was real.
Now, it's okay to torment Bruce because, well...
Oh, we're fine.
He's resilient.
Well, I better go back in that happy cabin.
He's a happy camper.
Now that we've got that taken care of.
I hope there's coffee in here.
And I think that's what makes this movie special to me. It's just a good time. No matter who you're watching it with, no matter what you want out of it, it's hard not to smile at this movie. Even when Ash is chainsawing off his own arm and being drowned in buckets of blood, it's hard to stay upset when you see the most awesomely cheesy catchphrase in the history of horror films. So because of that, I will always watch this movie every Halloween because it is the #1 movie that gets me in the spirit of this season. But that's it, everyone. We made it through THORGIWEEN, so starting tomorrow, we go back to our regular scheduled geekiness. So if you want to see what this channel is like the rest of the year, then hit that subscribe button. And as always, you can support this channel by following me on Twitter and Tumblr at Professor Thorgy and sharing these videos and giving us a thumb up. Thanks again for sticking with us throughout all of these spooky videos, and happy Halloween.